If you are watching this, if you live on planet Earth, this applies to you. Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about myself. I'm going to answer a few questions you guys asked me via Instagram and Snapchat. If you already heard about some of the things that I'm talking about, I just ask that you just keep watching because everyone starts somewhere, right? So while I do that, I am going to be doing my makeup, and no, I don't want to fit into this category of like a makeup artist or a guru or a fashion girl or any of that because I am not. Allow me to start. The first question was by Alyssa, and Alyssa said, what makes you happy and how do you maintain happiness within yourself? And hey girl, so what makes me happy? Well, I guess a lot of things make me happy, honestly, but nothing makes me happier than myself, honestly. And I know that that probably sounds super cliche to some of you, but I mean it, because the way I see it is that if I'm not happy first, I won't be able to enjoy all those little things or my family or my friends the way they deserve to be, thanked. And first things first, you have to learn how to love yourself. You have to learn how to enjoy your own company. You have to learn confidence and so many other things along the way. And I promise you, it's not as hard as it looks. All you really have to focus on is that you're imperfect, and that's what makes you perfect. Learn how to enjoy your own company, because if you don't know how to do that, you're always going to be dependent on somebody else. You're always going to be dependent on something else to keep you happy. She had a second question to that, and she asked me, how do you maintain happiness within yourself? And that's a good question too, because I think that happiness tends to be very temporary just because of the way that everything runs around us. The way I maintain my happiness is, first of all, you have got to protect your energy. And I mean that in every aspect that you can possibly think of. The way I maintain my happiness is honestly just thanking myself for every step, everything that I accomplish along the way. I don't let anything go unnoticed, honestly. I celebrate every little thing that happens. And when something bad happens, I just try not to focus on the bad. The beginning of 2020, I was very depressed. I was just losing my mind. I moved out very young, and I had the responsibility to pay rent and groceries and cook for yourself and laundry for yourself. So I was no longer pampered by anyone. And so it was just a very hard time for me, because I think that I started my adulthood way too early. And that's okay though, because that's just always how I've been. Fast forward to when I was 17, I went into Christianity. I have a friend who introduced me to a Christian church that I was going to. I actually went to that church for like 4 years. The reason why I started to go is because I always felt very guilty about who I was. And what I mean by that is, when I first entered high school, I realized that I was a little different than most girls. Most of my friends talked about guys, and they talked about boys and how much they liked this guy and blah blah blah, but I never really seemed to fit in that box, I guess. I was into girls, and I don't just want to say that I was into girls. I think I was just into people. Like, if I liked your vibe, if I liked your energy, and if I thought you were beautiful or handsome or whatever it is, then I was into you. It took me a lot of time to realize that I am who I am, and there's no one or nothing that can change the way I am. And so that's why I believe in spirituality now. I believe that we are a lot more than just this avatar outside here. We have a soul, and we have a place on this earth. We have a purpose. I am a very strong believer that nothing is a coincidence. Things happen for a reason. The universe just, it goes about. I always think about, if that horrible thing hadn't happened to me back in 2015, would I be in the place I am now? Would I be this content with myself? And that's kind of how you have to look at things. It's good to do some shadow work, and shadow work is kind of dealing with your past, dealing with your insecurities, dealing with everything that you normally will brush off. I recommend you guys to do that. Do it a lot. Mirror gaze a lot. Thank yourself for all the things that you have made come true, or the things that you want to make come true. Manifest anything into your life. yeah, that was a really good question, girl. So thank you. You got me right on the lead of what I wanted to talk about. The next question is by Angelica. Hey girl, I miss you. She said just drop a makeup routine as well. So you're welcome. And the next question was by Delise Pino. Hey girl. She said, what's your favorite food? And hey gorgeous. My favorite food has always been pizza. I've always been crazy about pizza, but I've recently just kind of had a 360 on the way that I live life now. I don't eat meat anymore. So yes, I am officially vegetarian. And I am so happy about it. I just recently started to take it like very serious, because although I was saying that I was vegetarian, I was still cheating here and there. Like I would eat just crap, you know? So I'm really proud of myself for taking that step, and I haven't ate meat in, I want to say, weeks now. So I'm really proud of myself. I've been making pastas with plant-based meatballs, and just I've been having a blast. The flavors are just amazing. So let me ask you something. For all of you who claim that you love your meat, first of all, I want to see you guys eat raw meat, because technically what you like is the seasonings. And where do seasonings come from? Plants. You're welcome. Just highly encourage you guys to switch onto a different diet. Stop eating meat, because first of all, you really are what you eat. You are what you eat. So for example, just imagine the way that that animal, whatever it is, was butchered. Just think about that, like how awful they treat them. And we've all seen this. Like, it's been in documentaries, it's been in movies, it's been on newspaper. You cannot deny that the meat that they sell you, it's trash. You guys are also special, and I just want you guys to know that, because listen, I try to live my life in a way that no one else can influence my happiness, my energy. It's really hard to live a good life when I see so many of you guys just fucking the planet up. It makes me so upset, especially when I like walk down the street and I see people just littering. Oh my god, it makes me want to. So anyway, I'm gonna give you guys a little background where I've been in life, just overall. I recently, and when I mean recently, I mean like very recently, I lost someone who was very, very important to me in my life. And it hurts a lot, honestly. It hurts a lot, but I think I understand the concept of life and death. And if you don't, it's okay, because I understand that a lot of us were raised to believe one thing, and like if you're not a good person, you go to hell. If you're this and that, like you go to heaven. Death in life is a completely normal thing that we need to start talking about more often, because understand that life is not just being born, growing up, going to school, getting an education, getting a job, getting a house, having kids, and then dying. Like, that's not what life is about. And if you really think that that's what life is about, then you have a lot coming your way. We were not brought to this world to work and be stressed and be depressed and hate and kill and do all these horrible things. That was not God's purpose at all, to put us on this earth. If anything, it was to be happy, to be fruitful, to help one another. And I mean, any book, any religion that you really read has the same concepts. And I just want you guys to focus on that, instead of arguing about whether your religion is right or it's wrong. Focus on other people's perspectives too, and see how it connects to yours. When I was going to church, even though I was learning all these interesting and like biblical sense things, it just wouldn't click in my head. Like, it would never make sense to me why love can't be love, you know, when God specifically says that he loves all, and you should all love all each other. And so I'm gonna give you guys a little background. Why not, right? Like, why not? I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, and I'm really proud of it. My mom brought my sister and I to Chicago when we were only six and 5, I believe. And so we've lived literally our whole lives here. But my grandpa and my grandmother had a business, and they were very successful. They lived a really good life, and then they moved to Mexico and they continued their business. And after they were settled in, my grandpa became a taxi driver, because it's something that he genuinely enjoyed to do. He would drive us around everywhere on his taxi. Like if we needed to get to school, if we needed to get home, if we needed to get to our aunt's house or grandma's house, like wherever it was, he was our personal driver, and that was just so cool to us. We just always had a blast with him. So ever since COVID happened, like we were not able to go back to Mexico this year just because my sister had a baby, and we have grandma here from Puerto Rico that has so much health issues that we just don't want to risk any of that happening. And so that's why we weren't able to travel to Mexico. Fast forward to last week, we found out that our grandpa passed away. And of course I broke down, and I was so sad because I had just spoken to him a week prior to that happening, and he was just begging me to go see him. He was like, I really miss you guys. I need you guys. Can you please come see me soon? And I don't think he understood the whole concept of like COVID happening. He just, I don't know if he was hurt with us. I don't know if he thought that we just didn't want to go see him, or that we forgot about him, or I don't know what was going through his head. And I think that's what broke my heart, that I wasn't able to hug him one more time. I never got to say thank you for everything that he did, for just loving us so much and for being such a good father figure, you know. But then I picked myself back up, and I told myself, like, girl, why are you crying? Like, why are you so upset about this when he's clearly living normal again? I believe in the cycle of life. You die and you're reborn into another life, you know? And so I just kind of started to think about it. I learned to grasp the concept of life and death, and ever since I have just been so content with life, and I don't see life as this scary big ball of things. I believe that we're just souls experiencing human. We are giving this body, and we are told that this is it, and that when you die, this is it, you're just dead. But I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that our souls die. I think that just this physical appearance of you goes. I know I got off topic a lot, but everything that I'm saying is important. So the biggest thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is the events that are happening in our world today. And why is that such a big deal to me? We are now leaving this age of Pisces and entering something called the age of Aquarius. So if you guys aren't good with astrology, that's fine, because I know that high school didn't really teach you that. And I think that there's a purpose for that too. We're in 2020 and things are just getting crazy. The age of Aquarius just has to do with waking up. It has to do with realizing that the way we're living life is not the way that it was intended for us to live life. And so if you're going through changes, if you have decided like, yeah, this school thing isn't for me, this major isn't for me, this job isn't for me, I need to move, I need to do this, I need to make just some type of changes to your life. And I think we've all been doing that, especially with everyone who's came out and started their own business, because good for you. It takes a lot of courage to do that. So good for you. We are living this crazy life of like being on our phones all the time, and technology and TV and music. It's kind of like our master, and that's horrible. First of all, that's a horrible thing, because we have lost touch with each other. We have lost touch with our friends, with our community. But we just need someone to explain, like, what the heck is going on? Like, I really, really believe that COVID was just a way to keep us asleep, and you have to respect the rules regardless if you like them or not. Like, I hate having to wear a mask in public, even though I know it's all bullshit, but I do it anyway because that's just respect. Like, that's how you show respect to other people. So I'm gonna do that. And also, my parents take it very seriously, so I'm gonna do that if I want to see grandma, right? If I want to see my family, if I want to see my niece, I'm gonna respect all those rules just to make people that I love feel comfortable around me, and I will do that. So I think that COVID was just a way to keep us from realizing what's really going on. You know, it's just, they knew. Listen to me. Astrology has been around for years. NASA, they know how this stuff works. They know that the moon and the sun have very intense energy. They know that already. They know that at some point people were going to rebel against their system. And I think that that's what's happening today. For example, Black Lives Matter, Save Our Children, Me Too, all these things that have not been respected. It makes me so upset because I can't believe we're sitting here and we're fighting about people who matter. Like, that's just, don't get me wrong, it's so important to be doing this because it needed to be done. It just sucks that we have to sit here and preach to you that Black Lives Matter. Like, that's insane to me. That should have never been a thing. We should have never seen color. And I think that's what the age of Aquarius is, you know, like, you forget about color, you forget about race, you forget about where people came from, and you respect everyone and anything. You care about the planet more, you care about yourself more, you care about your family, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to enter, so don't ever be afraid of it. It's a good thing. Like, this is good, guys. So let's talk about Halloween. Why is Halloween such a big deal to people still till this day? I know Christians don't celebrate Halloween just because they have a good concept of it, though. They don't celebrate witches, they don't celebrate monsters, just because I think that they understand that there is evil, just like there's good, just like there's angels, there's demons. These people who worship other than God a beautiful high. It gives them the perfect thrill because so many people are afraid, so many people are such a low vibration that they love it. They're like, we need to have this holiday. And so let's talk about why this year is going to be a little creepier than most years before. Well, a blue moon means bad luck. Like, that already means bad luck. And you're like, girl, we're already in 2020. Like, this is bad luck. Mainly, we also have a full moon. Like, a full moon and a blue moon. Like, oh my goodness, that's going to be so intense. And I'm sure you guys have heard of the term, like, a full moon tonight. Like, the freaks are out and stuff like that. And it's so true. So I don't know if it's just like a Mexican tradition or if it's like an overall tradition for other ethnicities, but a racist culture. Have you guys ever heard, like, if you're pregnant, you're not supposed to go out during a full moon because, like, it might affect your baby? And I just want to give you guys some science on that and why, like, they're not telling you a lie. So think about the moon. The moon gives off a lot of energy. It's the reason why we have waves, right? So the reason why there's waves is because the closer the moon is, like, the higher the waves will be because of the pressure of, like, you know, the moon is giving pressure to the water, and that's what creates the currents. It kind of works the same way in the placenta. So think about it, like, your placenta, it's filled with water outside of it to protect anything from, like, happening to your baby. When the moon touches you, that pressure, like, your baby can feel that pressure. So I think that's just a little science that will help you guys. So if you're pregnant, please stay inside. So yeah, that's crazy to me. A blue moon on Halloween, a full blue moon on Halloween, like, that's just not good news. You can also reverse this energy into good energy. So that's what I'm gonna do. Instead of focusing on, like, I'm gonna be so angry that day and I'm gonna be so depressed and I'm gonna be so grumpy and blah 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 blah, I'd rather focus it on the good and say, you know what, I'm gonna turn this energy into good energy, into positive energy. So thank God for my roommates and my whole household, because we are all having a spiritual awakening, which is so awesome. We can finally chill with each other and meditate and listen to good music and talk about spirituality and watch really good shows that educate you, which is what some of you need. And if you're out here, like, you've been wanting to start a YouTube video, but for some reason you feel like what you're saying is not valid, like, girl, do it. Like, who cares? Even if one person sees this, like, I'm satisfied with that. You have this thing called YouTube or social media where you can post all this truth regardless if you get it or not. If, like, you make it or not, somebody's gonna see it, and that's all I care about. That's all that I care about. One of the questions I got was, what's your favorite music or artist? You guys have probably never heard of any of the music I listen to, and that's okay. My number one is Brent Faiyaz. I love Brent Faiyaz just because, like, he's so real. Like, to me at least, I don't know, I just really like Brent Faiyaz. And I really like Umi. You guys probably have no idea who Umi is, and that's okay. I'll link her down below or something so you guys can listen to some of her music. Just give it a chance, you guys. Like, just because you listen to the first, like, 30 seconds of the song and you're like, this sucks, like, oh my god, what is she talking about? Listen to the messages behind the song. That's what you need. You need something to help you up. You need something to make you happy. You need something to make you motivated. And that's what music should be about. The same way the music can make you sad and depressed and make you do crazy shit, the same way my music will make you be better. So anyway, I listened to Umi. There's also this girl who I absolutely love her music. Her name is Genevieve, and I'll list her down below. I love this girl. Like, this girl is just such a vibe to me. And finally, Odie. I love Odie. You guys probably have never heard of Odie. Jorja Smith, I have recently been so in love with her. Her music is just so good. And if you've ever wondered like why you're feeling so anxious when you're driving to work after you had a beautiful day, it's probably because of your music, because you shouldn't be listening to hertz that are anywhere near like 440. Well, not anywhere near, it just shouldn't be 440 hertz, because your body just doesn't know how to interpret all that, and it makes you very anxious. So you can be listening to your favorite song and all of a sudden you start to feel super anxious. Well, why do you think it is, honey? Because you shouldn't be listening to that music in the first place. So anyway, I just want to close it up with you guys. I want to man, I just want to be an advocate for my planet. I want to be an advocate for my soul, for your soul, for just our generation in general. Like, we need to do better, you guys. We are doing better. Let me tell you. Let me just give thanks for all of you who are realizing that this isn't how we were meant to live life. It just isn't. So if you have had a spiritual awakening in 2020, let's just give you props. If you have questioned religion, if you have questioned music, if you have questioned anything out of what they've taught you, like school, anything, you're already one step ahead. I would say next thing is start meditating, listen to good music, don't give up on yourself, always say thank you to yourself, be healthy, treat yourself good, work out, eat good, do whatever it is you need to do to make yourself feel better, make your soul feel better, and do some research. So I'm going to link down below something that I love watching, which is called Gaia, and it's just full of documentaries and movies and videos just talking about how we are a lot more than just these little avatars, you know. And like, although I love my avatar, like, this avatar is really cute. I love my soul more than anything in the world, and I protect it from good energy, from bad energy, whatever it is. I am on top of my shit, and I want you guys to be on top of yours, because you deserve it. Like, stop being depressed. And I know that it's easier said than done, you know, like, oh girl, stop being depressed, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not depressed anymore. What I mean is, stop holding on to those things that make you feel other than happy. You shouldn't be surrounding yourself around anything that makes you feel bad about yourself. Like, you just shouldn't be doing that to yourself at all. Pay attention to the people who claim to be your friends. Pay attention to the people who want to be your friends and have good intentions for you. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I think this is just very educational for everyone overall, because we need to do better. We just need to do better as a community. Like, the world is literally falling apart. I kid you guys not. Like, our world is falling apart. And you guys are like, okay, whatever, well, life continues. Yes, it does continue, but it gets worse before it gets better. So hold on to your seat, baby girl, because these next few months are gonna be intense, and I mean it. Like, there's gonna be a lot of things, and quote me on this, there's going to be a lot of phenomenons that you guys have never seen before. There's going to be so much talk about UFOs. There's going to be so much talk about just astrology and like these viruses and these crazy stuff. So just pay attention, but don't believe everything you see. Please don't believe everything you see. And I want you guys to just ride this high vibrational wave with me and just with my friends overall, you know, like, we can all be friends. I promise you. I don't care how old you are. I don't care who you are. I don't know, remind yourself that you're beautiful, and thank yourself today for everything that you've been through in the past. Give props to yourself and say thank you. Just say thank you to yourself. Be thankful, be abundant. I want some good feedback, you guys. Like, you cannot hurt my feelings. Let me tell you that. I control my feelings, and I just want to hear, did you guys like this? Should I have done something different? And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I love you all. And just, I'll see you on the next one.